Welcome to a very, very late episode of Our 2 Cents number 5.
Yep, we're getting on up there.
John?
Hey.
It's been 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Since you've been on here. 3 since we posted an episode.
Wow.
That's quite
rough.
That's rough. Yeah, we were a little late. We've been busy on activities. Mostly getting ready for summer camp.
Yes.
Our youth's summer camp.
Our youth group.
Yeah.
It's going to Panama City Beach.
Panama.
Woo!
Panama. So, where were you last time you were not on the podcast?
Well, the last podcast was with Sam as a guest.
Yes.
And I was in Oklahoma on a mission trip to help a ministry called We Go Global, who's trying to reach the Cherokee Nation. So we went in, a team of us, 26 of us. We went in and we built a large deck for cafeteria area, and we remodeled their dormitories. It was a pretty sweet trip. Got a lot done. Had a lot of fun.
Sounds pretty sweet. You know what I did that week?
What'd you do?
I recorded a podcast with Sam.
Yeah. That's exciting too.
Yeah. Did you, okay, so it was episode 4 of the podcast, and I edited it. I want you to guess how long the podcast was.
43 minutes?
No. One more guess.
46 minutes.
No. The episode 4 of Our 2 Cents was 44 minutes and 44 seconds long.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Did not plan that. I edited it, uploaded it to YouTube, and I noticed it when it was up on YouTube.
So we gotta try and get this one at 55 minutes and 55 seconds.
No.
No, okay. Well, before we get any further, I just want to open with our disclaimer.
Disclaimer, more of
proclamation. Sorry, I don't know why I said disclaimer. Proclamation of faith.
Disclaimer, if you're not a Christian, you better get to be one.
I'm gonna make a poster now, and it's gonna be you pointing, and it's gonna say, "If you're not a Christian, disclaimer. If you're not a Christian, you better get one."
Okay, disclaimer at this point. I'll let you finish after this. It's like 10 o'clock at night right now, and we're trying to record this.
Gosh,
you didn't realize that, did you?
It's super late. Anyways,
so go ahead.
We believe in the Lord. Jesus is our Savior, and we love God. And eventually, inevitably, we're going to talk about Him in these podcasts. And we'll more than likely, I guess you could say, worldview will be revolving around a
heavenly view,
a kingdom mindset. So, if that offends you or annoys you in any way, be an adult.
Get one.
Get one. So, all right, let's kick it off, man.
Yeah. So you were talking about helping out people, right?
I was.
Yeah. Ready for the worst segue ever, by the way?
Yeah.
You were talking about helping people. You know who's not helping people?
Who?
The UK.
Hey.
How old is this, by the way? This is a couple of weeks old since this happened. So we're a little late on this, but I still want to talk about it.
It's interesting. It happened. It probably did happen 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I believe so. I remember listening to a podcast talking.
It's hard to keep track.
I don't know if I should say that. Listening to a podcast while recording a podcast.
You got to think. For some reason, this year you got to think in your mind of like the latest blow up. So you have the bathroom issue, and then after that it's the gorilla, and then after that it's the European Union, and then it's the alligator, and now it's the police shooting. Like, so you gotta go through them. You gotta think, okay, which week was this?
Which we're not talking about, by the way.
No, we're not talking.
That's why we're a little dry on some stuff to talk about. Not really dry, but it's just we're reaching back a little bit, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we are. So, we're not talking about the shooting.
So
we purposely chose not to.
Yes, that's why we're not talking about it. So the UK. The UK's EU, I'm going to say this word horribly wrong, referendum.
Referendum?
Yes.
Yeah,
what was the term they were using for it? Go, you keep talking now.
I know that it's going to...
Brexit. The British exit.
Oh. I know it's going to suck for a lot of people, but...
Hold on, what is it? Before we get into it, what is it?
I honestly didn't read too deep into the article, I'm going to be honest.
Then I will.
I only know basics, so explain.
So, and honestly, I'm probably going to mess it up a little bit. The UK is wanting to leave the EU, which is a combination of...
It's like
countries.
There's
like 20-something countries in the EU. Not anymore, by the way. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So it's 20-something countries. I'll look it up. I'll get the number right in a minute. And it was created to solidify trade within the area.
28 European countries.
28.
It happened right after World War II.
Right. To secure trading between these groups, because they believe that if you are trading, you're less likely to go to war.
Yeah, the article is saying to foster economic cooperation with the idea that countries which trade together are more likely to avoid going to war with each other.
Yes.
So that's a pretty... I mean, I guess it's a pretty safe standard to do, considering the amount of countries in Europe and how they're all bundled together. You know, like for the United States, we have Canada, Mexico. You know, like there are other countries, but those are the two that are connected to us. That's it.
Yes. Which is pretty crazy to think that that's 3 countries. And then over there it's country, side by side, packed together.
Yeah.
I mean, we almost pretty much, like, for us, states.
Yeah.
Instead of countries.
Yeah, in a way. And that's kind of what the European Union fostered. It's different countries with their own political governments and authorities and things like this, but it's easy to go from one country to the next. The United States, there's each individual state with its own government head or figure. You know, They have their own House and their own Senate. No, not their own Senate. I'm not going to get into politics.
So, the UK, which consists of... Okay, I was going to read these, but now that's a little weird. But I wanted to get into Scotland in a minute about the whole thing. I was reading the list of the countries that were part of the UK that are leaving. So they wanted to leave. They did the vote. The vote went through. It was 53.4% to leave to 46.6% wanted to stay. And if I'm understanding this correctly, they wanted to leave because the EU allows, without a lot of legal ramifications of it all, for immigrants to come through. If, say someone from, I'm going to get this wrong, example, Ireland, wanted to go somewhere else in the EU, like France, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. They can do that easily without needing much of passports and whatnot to go there and live there. So if the economy is doing well in one of those countries, they could leave their poor country to go make money, no problem.
Yeah.
And the UK wants to get out of that, if I'm understanding this correctly.
I think it's more than that too, though, because I think it's financial burdens as well. I think that's the bigger thing.
That's right, because you have to pay to be in the EU.
Yeah, because, I think an example that I heard was Greece is bankrupt, the country. They have no money.
Okay.
And so in the European Union, to keep the country afloat for the sake of the Union, other countries, aka the UK, would have to pay in to keep Greece afloat. Okay. And it doesn't help. And I love that the Greece has opened its doors to refugees and they're housing a ton, but it doesn't help the economy. To have a ton of new people that aren't working, that don't have an industry to go to work for, and then they have to be supported, that doesn't help either. And so now Greece is a financial burden to the European Union.
Right.
And so I think that has something else to do with it. But yeah, I think that the UK is doing something. I mean, because the travel thing that you're talking about, I don't necessarily think that.
Well, it's not you really are traveling for vacation. It's leaving their countries, immigrants.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think that that's going to be as easy anymore because of all the terrorism that's happening in different countries in the UK. They're starting to become a little bit more cautious with the borders, I believe.
All right, so I'm going to attempt to make sense of the list of countries that are part of the UK leaving.
Well, that's the different. I think that if you're looking at the chart, I think those are the different regions.
Well, no, because you used to have London and Scotland. There's Wales right there, Yorkshire, and the Humber.
Yeah, Yorkshire and the Humber, like those are the regions, like West Midlands, East Midlands, North East, Yorkshire and Humber, East, North West, Southwest, Wales, Southeast, Northern Ireland, London, Scotland. Like those are kind of like you would say if we were going to do a vote as the United States for whatever, that would be like
the different states.
Iowa, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, like that kind of, it's just provinces broken up.
So
Kind of deal. Because if you'll notice, it says Northern Ireland and not Ireland because the southern half is independent.
Okay. And talking about independence, when we get into Scotland, Scotland is part of the UK. Their votes here is to leave, it was 38%, and to stay was 62%. And now they're being forced to leave. Now Scotland wants to leave the UK and join back into the EU. So they've been screwed over in this situation.
Yeah.
And now there is a lot of fees to get into the EU, and now they have to repay all these fees.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of the European Union, I don't know. I honestly don't know too much about it, so I can't say too much about it. But from the little bit that I do know, it just doesn't seem like a smart idea. If I was my own country and then you and 5 other countries were coming together, I don't think that I would jump into this coalition if the standard was set up. If one of us, crashes economically, you got to buy us out. You got to help us out.
Yeah.
You're obligated to.
Well, it would be smart for a poor country to do that, but obviously not.
For a self-sustaining company to enter into the European Union, you have to pay a bunch of fees just so that there would be better trade with countries right around you.
It's like if you have your house, you're supporting yourself, and I'm homeless, and I just come in and start living with you. You're the one suffering from that, and I'm the one benefiting from it because you're having to pay into me to support me. It helps me. It doesn't help you.
Yeah, it would be like Canada, Mexico, and America starting the American Union or what so. And we'd all have to pay fees given America's broke.
Yeah.
So if anything, Canada would be getting the stub end of the deal. But Canada is kind of not doing so great either, and neither is Mexico. But this, we would all go into it for the sake of trade. We're already trading with these two countries. We already have trade with them. We buy resources from them. But if we as America would have to pay a bunch of fees just so that we would have a better trading relationship with Mexico, I wouldn't do it because I could get stuff for just as cheap, if not cheaper, from China. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't make sense for me to try and do that except for the sake of unity of our countries, which we already have. You see? So I think it was, at the time when the European Union was founded, it kind of made sense because all the countries were trying to rebuild. Mm-hmm. But now they're all kind of, the ones that succeeded in rebuilding are doing good, but they're having to take care of the other ones that didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is what it seems like.
So, you were talking about traveling before.
I was talking about traveling.
You know what else we're going to... oh my gosh.
So talking about traveling between...
I'm so sorry.
talking about traveling in between different countries, how about traveling from America mainland to Caribbean islands?
That sounds great.
Well, good news for you. Apparently, according to the outlook for the fall, there's going to be a very healthy competition for tourism, pretty much, in the Caribbean islands. There are, I think the number is 11 new slots for airlines to... No, sorry. 20 daily flights out of the United States to Cuba 20? In the fall. They're starting, so the government's allowing for America to have 20 flights daily from the United States down to Cuba. And American hotels like Marriott are looking to try and start building locations in Cuba. So that's good for the Cuban government. They're going to start getting more
profit.
Tourism, more profit, which, it wasn't necessarily completely impossible for Americans to go to Cuba. It was just extremely hard, and they couldn't do it directly from the United States.
Okay.
But now they can. And it's a lot easier, a lot cheaper. Hey. But it's going to cause an issue for other Caribbean islands.
Yeah. Hey, John.
Yeah.
What is there to do in Cuba?
What is there to do in Cuba? Well,
what makes it worth going?
In all honesty, I'm attracted to going to Cuba simply because it's untouched by American commercial tourism.
Until the fall.
Until, pretty much you can expect in the next 5 years, it's not going to look anything like it does right now.
So go now.
So go now while you can. Or if you cannot afford a trip to Cuba, chances are you could do a lot better to Puerto Rico. Apparently, according to this article, you can, and we'll have it posted underneath this video where you can also comment.
Comments?
On the video, for the podcast.
Podcast?
You can comment on it, leave us your opinions, your views, your questions.
We take questions.
We take questions, and we'll do our best to answer them in the next podcast.
Hey, and if you have any suggestions for anything that we want us,
it's late, isn't it?
Oh my god!
If you have any questions about,
if there's anything that you think we want us to talk about, topic wise, it doesn't necessarily have to be about any specific article. It could be just kind of a topic, Yeah,
like what's our favorite video game, or what do we enjoy to do in our free time? What's our hobby?
Or when is the next season of Reegle Shenanigans coming out? That's a question we can answer.
Yeah, that's another question we could answer.
But you have to ask it.
Yep. But anyway, so like I was saying, Puerto Rico, apparently it's not doing the hottest financially. And now with the opening flights to Cuba and the potential of a lot of Americans traveling to Cuba, it means that Puerto Rico and other islands in the Caribbean have to compete for tourism as a tourist attraction. So flights.
So what would be the outcome to that situation?
Flights and accommodations to other islands will be cheaper.
How much cheaper, John?
It doesn't give an exact, but it's basically going to be a I guess you could say an aggressive competition. The rates will be aggressive.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've always hated that term.
Aggressive?
No, like when talking about business, it's like our prices are competitive and we have aggressive attitude towards
it's colorful language.
It's very strange wording to use when you're talking about selling stuff to people. In my opinion.
Or the term reach out. Okay, it's a business term. So we're going to reach out to this group of people to find out what's going on. When you could just say, I'm going to go talk to so-and-so and find out what's happening. It's just so...
I'm going to reach out to Ted. Ted's right here.
I'm going to go talk to Ted. But it sounds less confrontational.
Yeah, there's a
reach
lot
out.
Yet we use confrontational terms when selling stuff.
Yeah.
Competitive and aggressive.
Well, I mean, it's all just language that attracts.
It's funny, like, at my old job, somebody came in wanting to talk to the boss about the stuff he does. And he asked him, well, tell me more about your business. And he used a bunch of those like aggressive words, but never actually explained and answered the question. And I'm sitting there the entire time, I'm just like, we sell chemicals. We sell chemicals. That's your answer.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, but that looks good. If you're a business person, you're talking to another business person.
But
if
it's
you
just
know
like
the lingo.
Yes, but it feels like a very political answer where it's just like you work around and never actually answer the question. You just walk around in a bunch of circles.
If you can talk someone into it, that's what business is. It's talking someone into something. And if you can color it up, some people don't want to be handled that way though. Some people want it direct, so you kind of run the risk, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways,
so speaking of walking around in circles, are we done with this topic, by the way? Are we?
No, yeah, I was.
What were we done about?
But speaking of walking around in circles,
Pokemon Go. Oh man.
This I honestly
I was gonna say John probably hates this.
I've actually been looking forward to talking about this. It's not that I hate it, it's that I don't get it, but I enjoy it.
Like what, the talk and like
just everything that's going on. Yeah, everything that's going on. I don't personally play Pokemon. I don't have Pokemon Go, but I am surrounded by it. Seems like every day I'm surrounded by it more and more.
Yeah, yes. Because, okay, so I grew up playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
You can't name 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, I
name 3 Pokemon.
No, Pikachu.
Ah!
Last time someone asked me that question, I couldn't even remember Pikachu. That's it.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
So, it actually just baffled me, the amount of people that I'm running into playing it. So, I, again, greatly enjoy Pokemon. I mean...
Name 3 Pokemon.
Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Venusaur, Ivysaur, Charmander.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's it's interesting that you started with Pikachu, though.
I named 4 others that wasn't Pikachu that you could.
I know. It's just you started
Charmander.
with Pikachu. You just started with Pikachu.
I don't know why it's blanking me on his second form.
Anyways, so this
Charmeleon, Charizard,
Pokemon Go,
Bulbasaur.
For the maybe one or two.
No, I said Bulbasaur already.
The 1 or 2
Squirtle, Wartortle,
people,
Blastoise,
that
Caterpie,
don't know
Metapod,
what Pokemon
Butterfree,
Go
Weedle,
is.
Kakuna.
Okay, stop. Okay.
Beedrill. Okay, I'm done.
What Pokemon Go is an app.
Can I do it?
Okay, fine. Go
okay.
ahead.
It's a GPS centric. You do it. I'm kidding. It is a GPS. It uses your GPS location, and you travel physically in the real world. And on the screen of your cell phone is a mobile game. You also walk according to your GPS location, and when you will come across Pokemon and catch them. Now,
and you're using your phone, so your phone is acting as a what's it called? I literally just had the term just now. It's working as a
companion,
virtual.
You mean a augmented reality?
It's working as an augmented reality for you. So you'll be walking somewhere on your GPS on your phone, and your phone will say, "Look, there's a Pokemon right there." And you'll go. You won't see it in real life, obviously, but you'll see it on your phone.
I have a story about that. By
in the exact location.
Right. And the huge appeal to it, mind you, in the game, you're a Pokemon trainer taking this huge journey.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And catching these creatures, and the game really aims for people's nostalgia of that game.
Yeah.
Because there are multiple Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
This one is based, like all the Pokemon you can catch are all from the first generation of Pokemon that most of the people playing it grew up playing when they were 8. I was 8 when Pokemon come out.
Yeah.
This particular set of Pokemon.
Okay.
So, it really, hits for the nostalgia. I was at work. You remember this?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so it was the day Pokemon Go come out, and one of our coworkers, John, works with him in shipping in our company.
His name's Joseph.
Yeah, his name's Joseph. And I saw him come from outside walking in with a big smile on his face and with his cell phone in his hand. And I walk over to him like, "Did you just catch a Pokemon?" And he's like, "Heck yeah, I did." And we went into a huge conversation about Pokemon Go. It's truly a nostalgia thing. I mean, I caught my first Pokemon, I had a big smile on my face. Okay? And just the sheer number of people playing it is baffling me. Because, there's Joseph, there's, 4 or 5 other people.
Sarah.
Yeah, 4 or 5 other people playing it there. I went to the Moe's. You weren't there last night for the worship night. Majority of people there were playing it.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so I walk in.
So it's a good thing I didn't go.
Yeah, good thing.
Because you were all geeking out.
We were all geeking out about it.
Okay.
I'll get back to that one. No, I'll talk about it now. What am I talking about? So, there's a Pokemon that more popular one called Eevee.
Uh-huh.
And I was driving up to the Moe's, and Eevee appeared, and I caught it. I walk over to Ezra as I'm walking in. I said, "Bro, you will not believe what I just caught." And he's like, "What?" And I showed him the screen. He saw the Eevee. His eyes got real big. Ezra did. Let's go. And me and him took out the front door and went down the street running after Pokemon.
Oh my gosh.
And then after Vessel, we went, a huge group of us went up and down the street catching Pokemon.
That's fantastic.
So the humor of it.
The game, how long is the game out? 3 days now?
Yeah.
Okay. The amount of stories that I have in just 3 days of Pokemon Go is ridiculous.
There's a couple I want to talk about too. But real quick, we were at church.
Yep, that's one of them.
Okay, then I'll let you tell it.
Okay, so we're at church.
So again, if the game's not for you, that's perfectly fine. But you going into this, you got to understand that there's just a huge, ridiculous amount of people who are enjoying this.
Oh yeah, there's tons of people. But we're at church, okay, which happens to be what's it called? A station.
Okay, so in the game Pokemon Go, there are things called Pokestops that allow you to refill your supplies. Yeah.
And so that's what the church is.
The church is a Pokestop.
So you can go to Three Taverns Church and you can refill your supplies in Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Okay. We're there. All right, we're hanging out. And we look
out... The day after it comes out.
The day after it comes out. We look out the window and there's this random couple. People come by the church all the time to swing on the swings out front or play in the grass. It's not uncommon. So we see a couple out there swinging on the swings. Okay, that's cool. They begin to leave after a while and we look out and the girl's in the car sitting with the car on. The guy's over by the road, by our sign, just standing there. It looks like he's urinating.
Yeah.
And I'm like... There's no way that guy's peeing. He's facing the road. People can see him. There's no way that guy's peeing. He turns around and he's on his phone. And I look at Jarus and I say, he just caught a Pokemon. And Jarus like, yes, he did. He's just sitting there by the road forever. And he just, on his phone, no reason, by the sign, no reason to be there, turns around and walks back.
Yes. And getting into that, it's funny. It is. And I'm seeing more and more people talking about it. My entire Facebook feed for the past couple of days have been nothing but Pokemon Go stuff.
Yeah.
And for people, not just articles or anything like that, people talking about playing it. So, because of the nature of the game, you have to be looking at your screen of your phone.
Yeah, you have to be walking around traveling while watching your screen.
It is dangerous. It is very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
I'll admit, and I've stopped doing it because I realized how scary it is. I was playing while driving.
Oh, my gosh, Jarus.
I was. I caught a lot of good Pokemon, though. I promise you, I've stopped playing while driving.
But, okay, how do you catch a Pokemon in it, though?
The nature of it is you pass by a Pokemon, it pops up on the screen, you tap it to start a battle with it, and you throw a Pokeball at it to catch it.
Okay.
So the way I was doing it was I'd have my phone in my lap, and it vibrates whenever a Pokemon pops up. So I'm driving normally. If it vibrates, I look down. I'll tap the Pokemon, and then it emits the battle, but you don't really have to do anything for a while, so I waited until I got to a stoplight, and then I would catch it. So I wasn't being super dangerous.
Okay, but still...
I still shouldn't have.
Disclaimer, if you did not realize this was an app, which would be next to impossible, but you want it, do not play it while you're driving. Oh my gosh, wait until... And you know what? Don't play it while you're by a road. I would go as far as say it. Don't be walking around by a road and be playing.
Be very aware of your surroundings.
Yes, be aware of your surroundings. When you're walking, be looking at where you're walking and just allow the screen to be like, oh, hey, there's a Pokemon. Stop walking. Look at your screen and then play.
So there is a device that they're going to release, a companion device, to help with you not having to look at your screen.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's a little thing, then there's a light on it, letting you know, like, depending on what color light it is according to what stage you are in the catching of the Pokemon.
Okay, interesting.
So you can look at the thing, this little device, it's a little watch, or you can just clip it, whatever, and it helps you catch it without looking at your phone. And you can look at later what you caught.
Do you know what is really bizarre? There's actually, we have the article here.
Can I tell my story?
Okay, yeah, go ahead and then we'll tell it.
Then you can talk about your article. So there is a Pokemon called a Rattata.
Uh-huh.
And it's a rat, essentially. Okay. I was driving.
Oh my gosh.
I told you I've stopped driving and playing it. So I threw it out and caught it. And immediately after I caught it, a chipmunk ran across the road in real life. So I thought that was the irony of it all.
The irony. That is pretty interesting.
So it's not the most interesting story, but... So, you were saying...
So I was saying that there's an article that we will post where you can also leave comments below this video.
Okay.
Okay. Of a girl in Wyoming playing Pokemon Go. Okay. Yes. And so she's going...
Again, you have to travel.
You got to walk around. And so she went to a bridge to try and catch Pokemon. She's up underneath there and she's playing, and she looks up and she's looking around and she sees something by the water, so she gets a little closer to look at it.
It's not a Pikachu, is it?
It's not. It's a human body. She's playing Pokemon Go and she finds a dead person, a corpse.
Wow.
The investigation from the police, they say that the evidence is that it was an accident. The man, they don't know really what happened yet, but there was no, it wasn't a murder. They don't know if it was a suicide or an accident. It wasn't, intended. Yeah. It just happened.
He was probably playing Pokemon Go and got hit by a car.
Oh, don't say that. That would be the worst.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised nobody has gotten hurt yet.
Yeah. Well, they might. But just be aware of your surroundings. I want to use that article as just be aware of your surroundings. You never know when you're going to walk up on a dead body.
Right. Or you become a dead body.
Or
be careful.
You become a dead body.
So there's one more thing I want to say, and this one's kind of humorous.
Okay.
Before we get into our next thing. I read this one, and if I can find it, because it's not part of our schedule that we put out.
Okay.
It's just kind of a small little funny tidbit. A man is a picture of a man catching a Pidgey. Mm-hmm. But his wife is having her baby in the delivery room.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
His wife is having the baby in the delivery room, and, the Pidgey is sitting on the wife's stomach as she's pushing to have the baby.
Oh, my gosh. That is...
So, yeah, it was something we talked about, I think our first episode of the podcast, is that separation a lot of people have with that technology. I mean, this man is having his child.
And he's playing Pokemon Go.
Instead, yes. So,
I honestly will not.
I will. My opinion on the game, it is really fun. It promotes getting up off the couch and getting exercise.
Yeah.
But
even the game.
But there's always still that separation.
Yeah.
And that dangerous side of it.
The game itself, you gotta, choose your time wisely. There's a guy the other day, Zach, who's also playing the game, and he's just got his phone open, and he's just walking around with his phone open, just in case.
Around the warehouse?
Yeah, just in case he walks across a Pokemon,
Yeah, because you can't catch the Pokemon when the game's closed.
Yeah, and so I just thought it was funny. He's sitting there, he's talking to everybody, he's hanging out, but you can see he's holding his phone down like this, and you can see he's got it open on the Pokemon Go app.
So you've become active, but you've also become secluded.
In a way, for instance,
because your focus isn't always going to be on just the conversation.
Yeah, at the moment you feel like you're catching a Pokemon, you're gonna go. Yeah, you're gonna go and try and catch it. So I think that it involves be wise. Like pick your time. Pick okay, now I'm gonna go.
It is like I said, the whole group of us going out and playing last night. It is a great social.
Yeah, but if I was there, it would be fun. I'd probably be videoing you guys running up and down the street trying to catch Pokemon, but I wouldn't be catching them.
No, or you'd stay in the house.
Yeah, or I'd stay in the house.
Because I think Jana and Janelle stayed in the house.
Yeah, but you know who's not staying in the house?
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf?
Yes. Just go ahead and... you already know now, but just pretend you don't. Just give me a shout out. Where do you think Shia LaBeouf is right now?
Oh, jeez. If I had to guess...
Now remember, last week he was not last week. Last time he was working his way towards the East Coast.
Yes. So, from the East Coast, if I had to guess and wasn't looking at the answer right this second... Ooh, he would be in Alaska.
He is. He's in freaking Alaska.
Wow, and he's still going.
He's still going.
I'm going to have to say that I said he would be done by this point.
Nope. He's still going.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, first episode we started doing this, I said he would have been done by the end of June or near the end of July. I can't remember. Either way, by the time August just hits, and
if he's still going, you're gonna have to give me metaphorical money.
How much marijuana? Metaphorical money.
$100 million.
Okay. You'll get some Jarus fun bucks.
Yeah. So now that we've accomplished our Shia LaBeouf corner of this podcast, we don't remember whose turn it is to ask a question, but we're just gonna go ahead and go with Jarus is gonna ask me a question because he spoke up first. So Jarus, ask me a random question that I am not prepared for in any way.
Yeah, I don't think you are prepared for this one.
Probably not.
And you did, I don't know, maybe you saw my eyes light up whenever you asked me who wanted to do the question.
I did.
Immediately, I'm like, I got one.
Yep.
So, we were talking about Pokemon Go, John.
Okay, we're talking about Pokemon Go.
And obviously, you don't want to play it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are playing it.
I have no desire to play Pokemon Go.
What would I have to say to convince you to play Pokemon Go?
What would you have to say?
Yeah, what would be the thing about Pokemon Go that would convince you to not necessarily get addicted to playing it, but just trying it? Because I got you playing that Star Wars game.
Yeah, but I like Star Wars.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But in all honesty, the Star Wars game is getting kind of boring.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a story.
It's a card game, so it's kind of
it'd be fine if the way you earn the money to get the cards wasn't waiting.
Yeah.
You have to wait a day and
pay money.
Or pay real life money. So
yeah, so that's the thing is And we aren't even competing in our card trade. You're trying to collect rare cards,
and you're trying to,
and I'm trying to collect sets.
Right.
And so it's like that. I mean, I guess that's fine, but at the same time, it's kind of like I'm not competing with you because we're both not collecting for the same reasons. You're not trying to beat me to the trophy for collecting the Blue Series set or whatever. So it's getting kind of boring. But Pokemon Go,
the one thing the game would have to do to grab your interest, because
augmented reality glasses.
Augmented glasses to see the Pokemon?
To see the Pokemon. So basically, the augmented glasses would allow me to see the Pokemon in my reality.
Yes. Which you technically can do in the game. You can do it through your camera on your phone.
Okay, but I want
glasses. But you want to see it.
I want to see it, and I want them to incorporate an actual Pokeball. I don't know what they're called, but the ball that I can have as like a Bluetooth device connected to my phone.
And you throw it.
And I can throw it and catch it.
Okay.
I want them to make the game as real as possible.
All right, so I will get in touch with the company that made the game and let them know that they will have one more
Go to Japan
customer.
And tell them. Yeah. I'll bet you that if they did that, they would make so much money from people buying the glasses and the Pokemon ball.
Yeah, they probably would.
Think about it. How hysterical people were just downloading the app.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, is free, right?
Yeah, it's a free app.
It's a free
with
app.
Microtransactions. If you don't know what that is, that's within free games, not necessarily, the game doesn't necessarily have to be free, but it's small amounts of money being paid for in-game content.
Yeah. So, but imagine how much more money they would make if they included augmented glasses and
they're already selling that extra watch device too.
Yeah. But I mean, that would convince me to buy it for the sake of being able to live out that much more of a virtual reality.
I feel like your turnoff of the game itself too is the fact that it's Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Pokemon fan.
So the company has also made another game that's... I can see a lot of similarities between... The other game is called Ingress. And the way that you kind of do things is similar to Ingress. Like, all of the... Ingress is also location-based.
Yeah.
All the locations in Ingress are all the ones in Pokemon Go.
Okay.
Which are the real-life locations. Because the church is an Ingress location as well.
Okay. And so what are you trying to...
So in Ingress, it's more of a sci-fi thing where you are putting up sentries around of these locations and defending them from other people trying to claim these locations.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there are similarities in it.
So I could be building strategic defense points while you're capturing Pokemon.
Yeah, if you want to grab
Ingress. At the same place.
Yeah, if you want to grab Ingress, but the two games don't actually transfer to each other.
No, I know. I was...
Yeah. But yes, in theory, I tried Ingress. It's fun, but like the style of it's a little complicated and not familiar. And that's also kind of a draw for me is I'm familiar with Pokemon.
Okay. It may not be that intriguing to me then.
It's just, there's not a lot of much of a draw personally to me.
Yeah.
For it.
Okay. Well, whenever they make an augmented Elder Scrolls game, I'll probably play it.
When they make an augmented reality Elder Scrolls game, you'll play Pokemon Go.
No, I'll play the Elder Scrolls. All right.
Well, that was a very interesting Pokemon episode. Go podcast.
Yep. Pokemon Go ruled it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do we want to hold off on the episode 10 kind of idea, or do we?
No, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I want to just not necessarily talk about it, I just want to throw this out there. Episode 10, we're going to do a live feed / record an actual video.
So we will attempt to live stream it. I don't know how well that'll go off.
Yeah.
But then we're also filming it.
Yes.
Instead of just audio. And it's going to be a little bit different, the format. We're not going to do news articles. We're going to have some guests on. Because it's our 10th episode.
10th episode, and we're going to do...
Games.
Games. We're going to... obviously, it's one of the big things that we follow and the big thing that we talk about because almost everybody plays games of some kind.
But we're not playing video games. Just putting that out there.
Games.
That's for our other channel that we're going to eventually start doing.
Yeah. So we're going to invite some people to come in and talk about their favorite game and pros and cons of other games.
And then have them do a challenge.
So make sure you tune in. We will more than likely be using the avenue of Facebook Live.
We can attempt Twitch. We can do a couple things maybe.
We'll figure it out. In all honesty,
we have it's another 5 weeks before we do it.
I'm intrigued by Facebook Live, so I think that's why I keep saying it.
But just to promote it now, we don't know exactly what day, but we'll let you know. But just be looking out for it. Within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll know for sure.
And we'll have the details down, yeah.
And then I'm creating the games. I have a couple games already to do. There's just one at the moment, but I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
One or two.
I can't wait.
And I'm not going to go into more details right now.
All right, do you want to close this with an awesome ending? Closure?
Okay, yeah. Okay, you ready?
I really hope that Ezra's listening to this.
Hold on. You were supposed to bust in with your freestyle rap.
No. My name is Johnny and I like to dance because I got dance feet and that's how I dance. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
That was a very, very tired episode of Our Two Cents.